It is the end of day one of Pro Tour Nagoya here at Magic Weekend in Japan. It's great to have you with us. An interesting day which began with 5 rounds of block constructed, and BDM, the sort of two storylines were either it's all tempered steel and it's all mono red, or it's a field of innovation. Which did we get?
We got both.
Okay.
If you look at the top of the standings, at the end of 5 rounds of block constructed, there were a lot of undefeated tempered steel decks. There were 5 of them. But there were also a lot of players playing the deck, almost 20% of the field. 1 in 5 players who came to this tournament played tempered steel. You have to expect that if they know what they're doing, that a certain number of those decks are going to rise to the top. But you also had a small handful of players playing mono black infect, which put a player through to undefeated. You had a small handful of players playing pure steel paladin decks, which put multiple players into the 4-1 range. So you got a little bit of both.
Okay. Then we went into draft, 3 rounds to close things out. We had a terrific feature match in the final round, which saw Luis Scott Vargas of the United States not quite go 8-0 to get halfway to repeat his feats of last year. And he was defeated by, we've got to be honest, a little-known German player called Fabian Thiele. BDM, I know you spoke to him. Tell us a little about him.
Well, I can tell you he was pretty excited. You know, he was very, very calm, cool, and collected while he was playing against Luis in the round 8 feature match. But as soon as he got the good games from Luis Scott Vargas, as he conceded in the face of a Hellkite Igniter, he was like, yeah! You know, I just beat Luis Scott Vargas to go 8-0 on the Pro Tour.
Yeah, and here I am in this amazing set.
Yeah, super excited. 25 years old. He's a student from Hamburg, Germany. Plays Magic, you know, more or less casually. Probably less casually now. And he's 8-0 day 1 of a Pro Tour.
And who's he playing with?
He, when he's at home, he plays a lot of Magic with Jan Moritz Merkel.
Oh, Pro Tour winner.
A Pro Tour winner from Germany who won a Pro Tour in Japan.
That's right, Kobe 2006,
limited top 8.
Willie Adel.
Beating Willie Adel by leaning over the table, you know, showing, you know, really like being the master of the domain there and the red zone. He has been staying in Japan with a number of other German players, so he's been really associating himself with the top guys.
So like the Greifensteiner brothers.
The Greifensteiners, Simon Gertzen, you know, working with those guys.
So in that sense, although his breakout performance, not a huge surprise perhaps. Then you get to the 7-1s. Plenty of people here. We've already said Luis Scott Vargas from the home team. Wow.
Yeah, it was super exciting. Tsuyoshi Fujita. You know, if you're looking for someone to talk to about block constructed, this is your guy. He didn't actually build the deck that he's playing this weekend. It was, I believe, built by Shota Yasuoka, but you know, certainly he had a hand in it. And this is a guy who knows block constructed. He became the first Japanese player to ever top 8 a Pro Tour way back when he was playing block constructed. Then he became the first Japanese player to build, well, he built the deck that the first Japanese player to win a Pro Tour won, which was also block constructed, which was Kobe in the hands of Masahiro Kuroda.
That's right.
So that was the thing too. Went 5-0 playing a crazy deck, 4-color Tezzeret.
That's right. He really pushed the boat out. And as we spoke in our preview, getting to 4 colors is really, really hard because there's no fixing really.
Right. But this deck is all fixing. Right. It's all Wellsprings. It's all, you know,
emissaries.
Scars block, dual lands. No emissaries.
Oh.
Instead, Horizon Spellbomb.
Right, okay.
So that's a card we saw. You know, it's pretty exciting. I hope we get a chance to look at that deck a little bit more tomorrow.
So he's 7-1. Some of the other players at 7-1, Gaudenis Vidugaris of the United States, Lova Jansa, the Swede from Top 8 of Worlds last year. Now, Logan Nettles, why does that name ring a bell?
Logan Nettles we met last year at World Championships when he was playing in the Magic Online Championship Series. So this is yet another one of these players who's come up through the Magic Online platform and onto the Pro Tour and is doing well. You know, not too far behind him in the standings is another player who's sort of a year ahead of him in classes, Robert Jurkovic.
Who is currently team world champion in real life, and as you say, the MOX championship in 2009, he played at Rome. Right. Who else we got at 7-1? Jeremy Neiman of Australia at his local Pro Tour, just the 10-hour flight away. Patrick Cox, the winner of the Star City Games Invitational.
Yeah, absolutely. When we have a deck tech coming up tomorrow morning with Patrick Cox.
Yep.
Where we talked to him about the Pure Steel Paladin deck he's playing. He went 4-1, and a handful of players went 4-1 within his group.
And also there, David Schaffman. Also want to give out a mention to someone who is just behind the 7-1s, 6-1-1, very first Pro Tour, Carrie Oliver of Great Britain. God save the Queen. Well done, Carrie, and you've been talking to her.
I have. So are you extending the olive branch?
The Oliver branch, yes.
Carrie won a PTQ in your sort of neck of the woods.
That's right. Yep, she was in Cambridge, and hasn't been playing a hugely long time.
No, it's actually a fantastic story. She began playing a little more than a year ago. She got into the game of Magic through Duels of the Planeswalkers. We've talked about this generation of Magic Online players who've made the leap to the Pro Tour. She's the first of this generation of Duels of the Planeswalker players to make the leap.
It's not Magic Online, it's online Magic.
So she started playing Duels of the Planeswalkers. She was really excited about the game. She had a group of friends. They all liked it. They said, hey, we're going to the World Week pre-release. She's like, what's a pre-release?
As you do.
She went 2-2, but got addicted to playing physical cards, started going to more events, went to an extended PTQ, as you and your friends well know.
Yeah.
And she modified the steel artifact deck that had done well at Worlds, took out the black, made it blue-white, took down the PTQ, and then here she comes to Japan.
Yeah, and 3-1-1 in Constructed, and then that's a great performance anyway. But then you sit down with some of the best players in the game, and you 3-0 your draft pod. Tremendous. And as she says, all I have to do tomorrow, I come back, I pick one card, then I pick another card. Then after that, I build a deck, then I play someone at Magic. And her lesson, I think, which is a great one for people who haven't played on the Pro Tour before. Yes, some of these players are amazingly good, but in the end, there's a chair, a table, an opponent, and some cards. And that's the same at every level of Magic. So, it's not impossible.
And she has a background playing competitive bridge, so she also has a little bit of that tournament experience under her belt.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about the top 8 in the Player of the Year race. We introduced them to you in our preview show. Let's take a look at the big wall and see how they did.
The magic number is 15 points.
So 15 points sees you through to day 2. Let's begin with Lucas Blahan, Czech Republic. 6 points. That is
a little
not
bit
15
short of the
points.
mark.
So you will not see Lucas Blahan on day 2. Let's go up one. Who have we got next? Martin User in his blackborder.com shirt. Czech Republic, 15 points.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding. You get to advance and draft again tomorrow morning.
And he had to 3-0 his draft to get to 15 points. So
still
job.
alive.
Well done,
Good
Martin.
job. Yep. Next up, we have over there, Shota Yasuoka, the 2006 Player of the Year from Japan. 6-2, 18 points. Good shape for tomorrow.
Also built a really exciting block constructed deck that we want to take a better look at tomorrow.
Okay, next. Where's it going? Where's it going? Right, down here we come. Shuhei Nakamura. 12 points, 4-4. Not enough. No Shuhei on day 2 on home soil.
Hoping he finishes high enough to get that one extra point.
And I think he has. I think 192nd. If you get in the top 200, you get 1 extra point. So 3 for him. Who's next? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next up, we have...
Rietzel.
Oh, 6.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's not the answer we were looking for.
That is not.
6 points is incorrect.
It is. So there will be no Paul Rietzel. Next up, we have Paulo Vida Dama de Rosa of Brazil, 15 points, looking very relaxed with his Pro Tour trophy from San Juan last year. He is through. He also needed to do some heroics. And when we say heroics, get this. So remember, you play people on the same record as you. So if you're at 2-3 after Constructed, like Paulo was, he got put in a pod with 7 other players on 2-3. So all those 8 had to win 3 matches running. Only one of them could do it. Who was in the pod with Paulo Vida Dama de Rosa? How about reigning Player of the Year, not Brad Nelson, Brian Kibler was in the pod, and then the 2009 Yuya Watanabe Player of the Year. Just like crazy pod.
Right. Not what you're hoping to see when you know you're going to a 2-3 pod.
No, but Paulo emerges from that one. So he is through to day 2. We've got through 6. We've got 2 more to look at. Who's next? Up at the top, Ben Stark. 18 points, 6-2. Your reigning Pro Tour champion. Loves limited. It's a limited Pro Tour. From here on in, the balance gives him 3 rounds of draft, then 5 of block. If he gets to the top 8, it's back to limited.
And in talking to Ben Stark about the Player of the Year race, he really feels like the only way he's going to do it is going to be on the back of a second Pro Tour top 8 this season.
Yeah,
So.
and he wants 2 more drafts this weekend. There is no doubt about it. And finally, who we've got left, your leader in the Player of the Year race, Owen Turtenwald of the United States, 18, 6-2, again, comfortably through. Disappointed to lose at the back end, but
Still does not have a Pro Tour top 8 on his resume. He has those 5 GP top 8s this year.
Yep.
He's coming off a 12th place finish in Paris.
could be time.
Is this the weekend he finally breaks through? We talked about that at the beginning of the show.
Really think it could be, but right now, as we go to bed at the end of day 1, Fabian Thiele of Germany, 8-0.
You're the single, lone,
Yeah.
undefeated player.
He leads the other 363. We will be back tomorrow to do it all again. 3 rounds of draft, 5 rounds of block constructed, and then it's live draft action on Sunday. Can't wait. For Pro Tour historian Brian David Marshall, I'm your host, Pro Tour statistician Rich Hagon, saying bye.